Hey, students in Southeast Michigan, school has started. It is the start of another school year. And to talk with us about the start of their school year at Regina High School in Warren, we're joined by the president, Anna Bolshevitz, joining us here today. Anna, thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good. And I'm very exciting to always talk about a new school year. I always remember the start of a school year. You get so excited. And then as soon as midterms come, you're like, oh, it's a school year. Right? Right. It's always exciting in the beginning, Anna. So how has the start of the school year been going for Regina High School? And tell us a little bit, give our listeners an overview of the high school itself.
Yeah, so we have 230 girls enrolled currently here at Regina. It's a secondary school, so obviously a high school. So imagine, we have 14 to 18-year-old I call them young women of promise here. So nothing like a building full of Regina women. Our motto, faith, intellect, purpose, that is what's going on here. We are attending weekly masses. Our theology programming is in the spirits of St. Francis and St. Clare. That's to honor our founding sisters, the Sisters of St. Joseph, Third Order of St. Francis, and of course, honor Mary, our protector. Last year, we graduated 100 girls from the senior class, and our academics are incredible. So just to give you an idea of how the school year started, this year, everybody is stemming along, AP honors. So calm, peaceful, faith-filled, intellectual. Everybody's on the way to achieving their purpose, I would say, this year so far.
That's wonderful. And so, what are some of the things that, kids typically go through in the start of a school year? It's exciting. And then especially for freshmen entering high school for the first time too, what would you tell parents about helping them adjust?
So one of the things I will say, as a Regina girl myself, and my mom and her two sisters went here. I mean, the school's turning 70 on September 6th.
Wow.
And what we're known
happy
for,
anniversary. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Regina. Wow.
You.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you. We're so excited. We're so proud of that. And I think what we do well here, actually, we issued a survey and we discovered from our alumni, our parents and students, that our traditions are what Regina is known for. And to answer your question, these first few weeks are about giving girls the chance to become sisters and welcoming our freshman class, for instance, in a traditional freshman induction, which we held just yesterday. So all eyes on them, knowing we have to gather around them and support them for 4 years. That's what it's about. And, if you look up data on Blue Zone research, women in particular live into their hundreds at a large rate because we are the gatherer. And we know how to get together and support one another. And that is what Regina was built on. And that's what we do well. So anything you can do to encourage joy in your child's social experience and, create opportunities for them to put their shoulders down a little bit so that they can learn and feel like they belong. I'd say that's the key to a successful start to the year.
That's wonderful. And what is it like for you to be back in the role today as president, having been a student?
It's surreal. This is sort of like this is the second time I'm serving as president. When I graduated, I was student body president 20-something years ago.
Wow.
And I've always just had an immense spirit for this school. My grandfather on my mother's side was an Italian immigrant, and he had 3 daughters, and all of those girls were Regina girls at the old Harper Woods location. And so I do this because I knew when I was born, I was going to make something of myself as a Regina girl. It was destined when I was born. So to be back here is, first of all, an honor, to honor the sisters who founded this place and to support the sisters who walk through these doors and those who have graduated. That's what it's about, giving back for me. So it's an honor.
I think that's so wonderful. And when you think about leadership today, how would you define your leadership style, and what advice would you have for young people aspiring to go into academia and to be a principal or president of a school?
It takes a lot. I mean, I have to say, you need a good team. and the team needs to believe in you. And I make mistakes every day, right? I'm imperfect,
Yeah, we all
but
do.
you
Yeah.
have to nourish your mind. You have to have faith.
Yeah.
You have to have a close relationship with what I know is to be God. And all of my Catholic education, I actually went on to a Franciscan university in New York and then taught there for many years. And so it's constantly revamping or relearning your own personal set of values and applying them mindfully and in self-awareness to everything you're doing. So it's a lot, but I think if we're in tune with our purpose and we know the benefit of transforming lives and helping people get on their paths to success, whether that's teaching or leading, you can't go wrong with it. You just have to really listen for your calling in that regard to know if it's right for you first. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
step one. I don't know what you think about that, but
Yeah, no, I do. And I think I do a lot of work in leadership development and training. And, the best leaders surround themselves with people who have talents that they are maybe not be strong in, because we all have talents, we have strengths, and we all have weaknesses. And so we surround
absolutely.
ourselves with people who are strong in areas that we may not be. And that's no reflection on our leadership. It's actually a reflection in a positive way that you value what other people bring to the table.
Absolutely. I've gotten so much better, I think, especially as a woman saying, okay, I don't know how to do this. Who does this well? Please take it over. I know you're going to be great at that. And it's
Mm,
just such a relief. And it doesn't make me less than because I did that vulnerability surface, you know?
mm.
I think that's huge is knowing what you're good at and knowing what you're not good at and allowing people to shine where they are operating at a high level.
Hmm. Hmm. It is the start of a new school year, and we're talking with the new. It's principal and president, right? President and principal. Are you both? Do you wear both
I
hats?
am
Or
not. I am not
oh,
qualified to be the principal.
okay,
I am.
okay,
I am the president, and we
okay,
have
okay.
another alum who is our
Oh,
principal, Mrs. Prima Daly from 1999. Yep.
oh, that's awesome. So you
Yes.
both share some wonderful background together. How much has this school evolved over the years since you've been there?
That's a great question. There's so much academically that has evolved and has needed to compete with what's going on in, for instance, the public school scene and just to keep up with the world's demands economically. For instance, STEM has been a
Mm.
major area of improvement. Um, I see a lot of business curriculum that has been up leveled through the
Oh.
years that wasn't, here when I was here.
Hmm.
Um, we have so many more opportunities for these girls to intern in the community and to really get an understanding of what it is they're destined for, so they can make a great decision in college, for college.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of academic programming evolution here at Regina that is incredible, and then you have just an incredible college preparatory program here where our counselors work directly with the girls, and it was always a wonderful program, but that's evolved to where we have a 99% graduation rate. And last year, we received academic college scholarship offers worth over $11 million in our
Wow.
in our graduating class. So these girls are working hard with all of the academic evolution that's gone on here through the years, the programming and internships, and it shows in how these universities would love for them to come and study at their
Mm,
organizations. So
mm,
I'm proud of that. But I have to say, a lot of things, the right things have stayed the same.
mm.
So a lot of things have evolved, but what I love most about Regina is in a world where community and connection are maybe difficult for people to find, Regina is the place it's always been in sisterhood and in in service, taking care of one another and the community. And that to me is one of the most impressive things that stayed true here.
Mm.
Those things.
That's wonderful. So what are some of the challenges high school students and particularly high school girls face today that parents and other administrators and teachers need to be aware of on a regular basis?
Yeah, I think it's, I'm going to advocate for the girls. I know it's just as difficult for young men. I don't want to
Hmm.
ever, take them out of the equation, but it's everywhere. It's in the headlines. Jonathan Haidt, he's, I believe, a Ivy League professor, writes about the anxious generation
Yeah.
and the social media use and the self-worth problems that come from that. So a lot of our work is self-worth.
Yeah.
Self-worth.
Hmm.
And for young women, statistically, we need to give them that worth, and help them find that worth here. Everything is so immediate and in the palm of their hands. And for years, we've had the rule where they cannot have their mobile devices from when the bell rings in the morning to when the bell rings in the afternoon. And that is to make sure they are present with one another. Presence and self-worth, I would say, are some of the most difficult things for these young girls to have. And my goodness, you should see how skilled they are and how strategic they are.
Hmm.
So if we could take that ability that naturally comes to them and give them the gift of presence and help them to more clearly see their worthiness,
Hmm.
the world would be different.
Yeah. Their value and identity. I think that's so important. I mean, we live in such an identity crisis in the world today, and we know as
Yeah.
Catholics our identity is in God and in Christ. And we're made in the likeness and image of God, uniquely made with our own talents and gifts and charisms and wonderful qualities, and we get so caught up with the culture, how the culture defines us instead of how Christ sees us. And
Yes.
I think that's why I just value and a Catholic education. I was
Yeah.
blessed to attend a Catholic school, take my daughter, pay for my daughter to be in a Catholic school, and there's such great
Yeah.
value in that as well. What else do you want our listeners to know about a Catholic education specifically, and how the faith is incorporated into every aspect of the curriculum, not just reserved for religion class?
Yeah, I think that, oh my goodness, that's a great question because this is the question. It's the
Yeah,
product differentiator, right? But I think
yeah.
too, we have to start having conversations with people about their definition of faith. And as a Regina
Mm,
woman, I mean, this interview is not about my professional career, but I have done some incredible things all because of the Regina girl who lives inside of me.
mm,
And she has faith.
mm.
She is armed with faith, which means, for my definition of faith, I surrender. I have practiced that because I learned that. First of all, I went to St. Joan of Arc in St. Clair Shores. I've been in
Oh, okay.
Catholic school my whole life up through
Hmm.
college and taught, in these places, Catholic schools. Um, Faith to me is armor when everything is dark. That is your shield. That is your best defense, right? Knowing God is with you, all of the angels, all of the saints, and having, um, the ability to just, when everyone else is not able to see it, you have to be courageous and go forth. And fortunately, my career, I've been independent. I have lived internationally, done business internationally. And when you're
Wow.
by yourself, you are, it's you and God,
Yeah.
you know,
What a great
and
point.
everyone else in that community, right, that I pray
Yeah.
to and who's with me. Um, and that is what we're giving these kids in these formative years. Grade school, high school is the foundation that when parents are no longer, around, meaning maybe, your child moves away, they're going to make all the right decisions because they have been taught what the true definition of faith is.
Mm,
And I think you
yeah.
can have STEM, you can have business and all these accounting. Okay, great. You can have all these degrees, but your values that come from your faith are what define you in society and
Mm,
grow society. And to me, that's what it does. It gives me a sense of goodness and light in the world that we need.
I love that.
So.
Yeah, I love that, Anna. That's beautiful. A couple more questions before we let you go. I like to ask guests about epiphany moments here on the show, Epiphany, where the Lord is really kind of directing us, shining a light on our life, speaking to our heart. Do you have an epiphany moment you could share with our listeners here in Epiphany today?
I do. Just a like a life happening. Was that?
Yes. Yeah, just a light moment, a light bulb moment type of thing.
Yeah, so I mean, I pretty religious, and I pray quite often about decisions and things like that. And when I was actually searching for a career back home in Michigan, I was living in New York, teaching at St. Bonaventure University, and in the spirit of Regina, I had founded an all-girl organization in my journalism school to help empower young women. We had a gender inequity, and I thought, well, the girls need to be seen. So at one point during Women's History Month, they put on a seminar, and they decided to welcome in women from all generations in that area to showcase them. And they were so equipped that all I had to do was just show up. So I was like, okay. So I show up, and I look at the list of speakers, and I look up, and they had asked randomly a sister of St. Joseph, Third Order of St. Francis, to speak, that was the founding order of Regina High School. So I'm in the state of New York. These girls know nothing about Regina High School. Yeah. And as I'm listening and I'm thinking about Regina and how incredible it is, I mean, it had been years since I'd really interacted with the school. My mom sent me the link for the job opening for president.
No way.
Yeah. And so for me, I mean, what a communication.
Yeah. Well, that's God really speaking to you. Anna, what's your background? What'd you get your degrees in?
So I have a journalism bachelor's and a marketing master's.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful. So Anna, how can people find out more about Regina?
Yeah, first of all, we have all these events happening this year for the 70th, and everything is on our website, reginahs.com, which I think is the easiest. Plus, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of the modern places. I think we even have a TikTok, for God's sake. So all of the normal avenues, Regina High School would be what people would search. Warren, Michigan. Warren, Michigan.
Anna, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you on, and God bless your school year. God bless everyone involved in Regina and in the school year for your whole school.
And same to you. This was such a privilege to speak with you today. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. It was wonderful having you on. We're talking about Regina High School here on Epiphany. It's in Warren, Michigan, and you can reach out to them to find out more. I'm a big advocate of Catholic school. I'm a product of one, and I was blessed to send my daughter to a high school.